You know, I'm probably somewhat sexist because if this were a young boy who was, in some ways, abandoned by his parents, and there was an older man who was able to provide me with weapons and other equipment, but refused to actually provide direct help as I fought against all these other people, I probably wouldn't object so much. But if it's younger, wow, whoa, hey now, that's dangerous. And I don't know, like, if I end up going back to the first area again, I don't know if I'm going to record all of that or if I'll edit some of that out. I don't know. I know from a viewer perspective, there's those who might want to see the raw footage. So I guess what I might do is make the video with it in there, and then either make it a section and call it like, hey, you can skip this area if you want. Just me replaying sections that I've already been through. Nothing new. That might be the most, I think that'd be the best approach overall. That way people can make the decision for themselves. So if you want to completely skip the recording on... Gosh! Yeah, that way, if you want to skip rather than this, then by all means, feel free to not watch the video. If you're the kind of person who likes to see everything. Oh, jeez. Good grief. Oh, that was... I mean, the reason I maneuvered it the way I did is so I didn't get knocked into the water and get stuck with an instant death and reset to 0 on my health. What's this? Things are getting pretty tough, eh? But I know something that can help. You can unlock all kinds of power-ups in my store in Merryfeather. Once you have everything, finishing the caves in one run will be easy. Well, doy! Once you unlock everything and level everything up, the game will be easier. It's like, oh, you don't say. Ah, man. Riveting. Riveting tutorial game. I'm so glad you told me that the game gets easier if you upgrade everything. Like, you freaking dingus, of course. I'm surprised they didn't have a tutorial saying, the early game will be hard because you won't have anything purchased. You'll have to kill all the enemies, basically from scratch. I mean, I hate to be sarcastic and snarky, but don't be stupid. Oh, okay, I can't jump back up there. Another area to exploit, so I'm going to. Because this one's super fast. Yeah, over 1,000 for... Dude, this takes no time whatsoever. I'm going all the way up to 40,000, no question. Might even go up higher than that. I mean, so... Again, this is an area where it'll be completely... Gosh darn it. Completely up to your discretion if you want to skip this. I do not blame you. But I am not going to not do this. This is... I mean, the game just told me with the last tutorial that I'm gonna have to replay this game over and over, the same areas over and over. And it's like, okay, they did this on purpose. Like, they expected you to abuse the snot out of the system. I mean, why else would they do this? And frankly, I think the next level of coin increase or multiplier was 50,000. So I'm going to grind at least up to that amount. I might go all the way up to 60,000, to be entirely honest with you folks. So I will definitely put in an annotation or something into the video when I'm posting it so that you know, it's like, okay, this Fruit and Doggy here is, playing smart, doing what anybody with half a brain would do. And so if I don't want to just sit here and watch him ping pong back and forth like a big goof, then I can just skip to this part of the video. Well, I have to admit that this song is actually pretty nice. And I did rewatch footage from the first recording session, and I did turn down the game audio because, at least in the very first area when I was listening to it, the song was that really upbeat, loud, kind of rock music. And I was like, oh man, it's kind of hard to hear what I'm saying. Not terrible, but it seems like, there's kind of a competition for dominance. And so that's one thing that's a bit annoying about this game, is listening to this song. It's so quiet by contrast. It's mellow, it's calm. It's not going to drown me out at all. But the music is completely independent of the areas you're in, seemingly. And that's something I don't really care for. I like it more when maybe a game has, maybe 2 or 3 songs per area, depending on how long you would theoretically be in there, and different areas, sub-areas, or events that might take place. But, when the music can just swap in and out completely arbitrarily, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what you're doing, it's just going to start playing whatever it's going to play, then it's like, how am I supposed to connect, or how am I supposed to make any associations? Like, oh, this area, that's the area that plays this song. Because as a gamer, that's part of what helps you connect to a game, is the whole experience. In some games, people remember the song track, so fondly. It's riveting. It's beloved, and it triggers so many memories. It's like, I remember that stage. I remember exactly how I felt. I was so pumped up. Or it's like, oh man, it was beautiful. It was, so serene and calm. And I was like, oh man, this is such a mystical area. Or maybe it was really kind of chilling and creepy. And it's like, oh man, I feel uncomfortable. And that wouldn't be maybe perhaps as a positive experience, but it still triggers those memories of that game and that experience you had. And not that the music of this game is riveting and stirring enough that you're likely to remember it afterwards, but that's why music in a good game can be so important, though, because excuse me, it's part of that association. It becomes part of the complete package. And I have never encountered a game where the music was just so amazing. I was like, oh man, too bad this isn't a better game. They're usually fairly generic, but I don't know. I think it's definitely something that could elevate a game to a better area. Okay, I'm gonna say 80,000 is my limit on mindlessly grinding, so I went above the number I had originally stated, so I'm good. I don't really understand the name of the game, considering you're not really going through any trials, you're just going through a normal gaming experience.
and it wasn't called Super Mario Trials, for instance. I just think the name of the game could be better, but then again, so could the entire game, so at this point, who really cares?